destructive, invasive. They spread like a disease. A complete f***ing pain in the ass. So what am I talking about here? Clothes moths. I remember it like it was yesterday. My wife and I were snuggling up on the couch, watching TV, and all of a sudden, I see this white larvae on there. And I pointed it out to Teresa and she was like, eh! At first, it was partially in denial. I thought, oh, maybe it's just in this room. That night, when I was sitting in bed, I saw another moth fly around. We had a moth infestation. When I went over to my closet, I checked my wool and cashmere sweaters to see if they had any signs of moth infestation. And when I couldn't see anything, I started looking at the ones down here, the ones I use less frequently. And sure enough, there they were, moth eggs. I saw actual larvae in the sweaters, still moving. I saw the holes. I saw the residue of the cocoon and looked closely at all my garments. Moths like to hide in dark, undisturbed places. Sometimes I was lucky and the hole was under the collar in an area where it wouldn't be visible. Here you can perfectly see there is this spot where they ate through it. I saw all the damage they had done. Come on over here, I'll show you exactly what I mean. If you look closely, you see down here, there's some white stuff. That means the larvae was in there and then left. And if I do this now, get it away, then you can see the full damage, so to speak. I'll look a little more and I'll see different things like this. This is basically the cashmere fiber with the larvae, so they ate here. Another place moths love to hide in are the inside of the pants cuffs. Why? Because all sorts of dust accumulates in there. Similar things are true for in between the vents. I've never really had to deal with moths before in my life, and so I really had no idea what to do. In stage 1, I basically tried home remedies. First thing was I used a vodka spray bottle. I always have a big bottle of vodka here just for that reason. So then I put the sweater on the floor. Here is a piece that my mom knitted for my dad in the 1980s. So I sprayed the entire garment. I tried to spray on the inside, hoping I would kill them. Once I ran out of vodka. Is that good or is it bad?
That's great.
I looked at what else I could do and I thought about my clothes steamer, because I figured the hot steam would kill those damn little larvae. Now after a while I realized this would take a lot of time and I didn't even know if it would truly kill all the moths and all the little crevices that I didn't even think about. These moths like animal hair. No matter whether it's your sweater, your pet, it doesn't matter if the animal is alive in a sweater or dead in taxidermy. And once I looked closely, I saw these little white dots which were the moth eggs. Animal hair also means your down pillow. No, it's not just the clothes. They can even hide in your piano hammers. It can be your wool rug or those shrilling lined slippers you have, where you have the combination of animal hair with human dust. Moths can also be hiding in your headwear because they're made out of wool, rabbit hair, or actual beaver hair. If that wasn't already enough, they can be in every crevice behind your baseboards. Come on over here, I'll show you something. Moths can even hide in your dusty ductwork. And how are you gonna clean all that out? I felt really overwhelmed. The next day I kept reading more on my phone. They claim that cedar wood and the smell of the oils will keep the moths away. Even if we assume that they really don't like the smell, they will be in other parts of your house. I don't think it's effective in fighting or keeping moths away. So forget about that. And I came across this idea of freezing them to death. We live in Minnesota where it gets damn cold in the winter, so we just put our taxidermy outside. Here you can see all the damage the moth eggs did. They just ate all the feathers. And that's exactly what these holes are. I bought a dedicated clothes moths freezer for $800 the next day. I took all my clothes, stuffed them in an IKEA bag, and opened the freezer. Important thing was that the temperature is real cold. So successively, I took all of my clothes and put them in the freezer one by one. And even though it's a big freezer, it wasn't enough to hold all my clothes, just about 4 IKEA bags, which wasn't even close to enough for my entire wardrobe. I cleaned the entire closet very meticulously, went in every nook and cranny. I went through my tie collection, and seemingly all the silk ties were in great condition, but some of the wool ties had holes. And because most silk ties have a wool interlining, I knew I had a moth problem, and I had to take my entire wardrobe into the freezer. As I was doing this, I realized my freezer is only so big. So as I'm putting things in there, there's space elsewhere in our house for them to grow and lay more eggs. Moths can hide in your nice upholstered furniture, especially in those crevices here. I also started putting out glue traps just to see what was happening. I got these on Amazon. And I trusted their marketing speech, no more moths, best suit for all pantry moths. I put the traps all over the house, and I check on them about once a month. I could tell things were getting better. I caught fewer moths in my traps, but there were still some. Oh yeah, see? There's like one that was caught in there now. These things are great to identify if you have moths, but they suck at eradicating them. The glue traps will only ever attract the male. By the time you see a moth flying around, it's already too late. It has already eaten through your clothes or through whatever it is that is animal hair or human related. You can't do anything anymore. At this stage, they're just procreating for weeks. I was now hauling my clothes into the freezer, left them there for a week to really make sure all the larvae were dead. The realization set in that I can't beat the infestation with just the freezer. So I started thinking about, well, what if we wait until summer, I build a little enclosure for my thermostat, put ice on the inside, wait until there's a 90-degree day, and then crank the thermostat all the way up. So I heat the entire house above 130 degrees to really kill every single moth, egg, larvae in the house. But then if you do that, you have issues with your wallpaper coming off apparently, and there may be other things in the house that's not so good because things expand, so that wasn't a good option. So when I was at Kniesche in Vienna, Frau Dr. Niesüß told me that parasitic wasps are very effective in treating moths. I had never heard about these things, and at first I thought of the big wasps that fly around. Upon doing more research, I realized they're tiny, itty-bitty little things that are really hard to spot with your eyes. They go into the moth egg and kill that moth larvae inside of there. No matter where in your house these little eggs are, it will find them and kill them. I found this really great website called Arbico Organics. I'm not affiliated with them, I'm just a regular customer. They come in a tiny little bottle like this, and they're just simple strips, and it really worked. See, we have these like taxidermy pieces. Now you can see I have these little strips all over the place, because that's where the parasitic wasps are. They say one little tab has 10,000 eggs and should be good for about 3,000 square feet of space. I got 6 tabs of 60,000 eggs, enough for 18,000 square feet. I'd rather have more eggs than fewer, because the cost of them doing the damage to my clothes is far greater than the cost of these moths. I mean, it costs as much as Netflix a month, so why not go with that? I have my parasitic wasp strips all over my closet, so they kill all these moths in their eggs. What do I have to do to clean them up? Nothing. They're so tiny and they're like dust, and you just clean them up when you do your normal house cleaning. There's an incubation period for the eggs, and depending on how big your house is and where they are, they need some time to work. And that's why you need to get them in the beginning, every week, every 10 days, every 2 weeks on an ongoing basis. So the solution almost sounds a bit like science fiction. Trichogramma wasps, also known as parasitic wasps. Their entire life cycle is dedicated to one thing: finding a moth egg and go into it and kill the larvae. But listen, just because you won the battle doesn't mean you won the war. And because of that, I've decided going forward once a month, I will have these little parasitic wasps delivered to me just to make sure my house remains moth-free. At a cost of less than a Netflix subscription, it gives me great peace of mind that these little buggers will never eat through my clothes again.